Hello, and welcome back to Diary of a Warhammer Noob. So, the series is going along fine, and it has ended. The dwarf week of the series has ended. I will eventually come back to them because they're my favorite faction, but for now, this is the final dwarf battle you will see, at least from my perspective, because apparently they can't stand my terrible command anymore. So this time, I faced Greenskins again, this time, on Glacial Lake, I think it's called. Wait up, hang on, let me find it. There it is, Glacial Lake. And I decided to try again the super infantry, as I call it, build, which is just a bunch of infantry, buffed up beyond belief. Used Thorgrim again, added his stand your ground, of course, same. I added a couple more runes, and took away Forge Fire. And then on these guys I gave them still the Silverhorn of Vengeance and Potions of Strength. 4 Dwarf Warriors, 3 Dwarf Warrior Weapons, Grumbling Guard, Dragonback Slayers, 2 Quarrelers, and a Thunderer. Hopefully this worked better this time, and I faced against the Orcs again. Let's get to it. It was a pretty cool fight, by the way. My friend, well, he's not my friend, my opponent Bobby went all gobos, which was awesome, really. So no orcs here, just goblins, which is always fun. And this map, it has a little problem. I cannot see the tracers of missiles, which means I cannot tell what he's shooting me with. Now, this is a very interesting battle indeed, because the only thing I could see was this Night Goblin War Boss, everything else forward deployed, which was excellent. He has main line of Night Goblins that have been fully upgraded, except these guys, backed up by Nasty Skulkers, backed up by these 3 Archers, and then he has a flanking force of more Goblins here, led by one of the Shamans. Now, at this point, I just formed up like this. The formation is everything will charge, nothing will stay here. So all of my Dwarf Warriors will rush in, followed by these guys. I have these guys to protect the flanks, these guys to protect my skirmishers, etc. So I start moving as a group. Keep in mind I couldn't see that, nor that. I couldn't see anything. Now, at this point, I am ordering my army to just move up in this location. I'm like, okay, I will have the lake to my left flank, which means I will be protected at least. And shortly after I moved, shortly after I gave the order, I'm like, wait a minute, because I saw this guy moving this way, and I started tilting my army to face him. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna attack me from the right. Then something just smelled wrong to me. And I'm like, if I was him, boom. I'm like, yeah, I knew it. I knew it would happen. Oh my god. I knew he would send a flanking force. I suspected as much, but I didn't realize he would send that many goblins. So I turn around one of my Quarreler units and I start shooting, and I see more and more goblins showing up. I'm like, oh damn, that's a big force. And then I see his main army. And I'm like, wow, this is gonna be interesting. My Thunderers are like, hey, what's up? We are an anti-armor infantry unit and we're pointless. So I sent a bunch of Dwarf Warriors to handle this. Was it a good idea without my infantry, without my leadership support? Look at this. This infantry engagement is gonna go in my favor, despite the hexes that the goblins are putting on me. Look at the war boss just hopping around, and he just attacks Thorgrim. This is the biggest mistake I made in this fight. I didn't even notice Thorgrim. He was being targeted by all of 3 of his archers and his Night Goblin war boss, and he's gonna die. He's so gonna die. I was not looking at this infantry engagement at all. I was like, yeah, it's gonna go fine for me. Sure. I was kind of focused here, bringing in my Slayers, having these guys supported by the by these guys. I didn't know what to do with my Thunders. It was so indecisive. And then I saw that. I'm like, oh shoot. Thorgrim's dead. I ordered my Thanes to go and take care of the war boss, but that's too late. And then the war boss turns around and starts attacking my Thane. He used this potion of toughness for some reason. I didn't even realize he had one. Well, he did. And then the Thane came in with a potion of strength, and look at this damage. Look at that. Man, Thanes are dangerous. And then I pull back my Greensmith because that's quite a bit of damage. Fight on the flank, this is going well. My Slayers, they may not have anything large to kill, but the ridiculous melee attack of base 50 is very good against lightly armored units. And then my Quarterers just keep shooting. This guy attacks my Thane, my Smith without remorse. Or, you know, he just attacks me. And my Thunders are shooting his war boss. And look at that. I cannot see the missile tracers. I was not aware why these guys were dying for some reason. After a while I figured it out. But I sent my Slayers to help out with the One Night Double War Boss. Flank attack coming this way, and I sent these Dwarf Warriors to assist in this main fight. Look at this massacre. And my Thane is just surrounded by goblins. He's huge! He's so big for a dwarf. And then the war boss comes in, he's like, hey, and then I drink my potion of strength. And then boom, shield bashes him, and then his guy just falls back because he has no more. My Thane wants some more, but goblins are too fast, especially for dwarves. I rear attack with my Slayers, but well, these archers had other ideas. Of course, this is where goblin leadership just comes into play. And then I focus the rusty arrows with my Quarterers because their armor sundering is kind of painful for my dwarves. At least the main fight's going right. I won this engagement. I won it pretty handily because there are two Thanes in this mess and the Grumbling Guard. However, this flank these goblins just fall back, and they keep coming back, which is pretty much exactly what goblins do. This guy, if anybody sneezes in his general direction, is gonna die. My Thunders, I have no idea what they're doing. I know is that they're under constant fire from goblin archers, which was not fun, as you can see. Look at that. Look at how many arrows they just ate in their face. Thankfully their armor didn't shield it, but still. Holy shit. All of these goblins are falling back. And now they're back in action. And here we go again. Here's another round. Holy shit, I was not aware Slayers lived. They're like, hey. Oh, they both lost their heads. I like that the beard is all the way attached, all the way down. And the Night Goblins just broke through my lines at this point by routing. I have my Thunders to the flank, shooting. I was taking potshots at the Night Goblin Shaman because he was annoying me, but I mean, eventually these guys are gonna get shot at again by all of these archers, and they're gonna run away. This guy... Oh, I remember him running away. Anyway. Dwarf Warriors' great weapons are doing their thing, and these guys are out of ammo. Thankfully, I'm up against goblins, and they're not bad melee infantry, actually. Well, melee infantry. They can handle themselves in melee. Whereas other skirmishers cannot. And this is looking dicey. And then boom, a couple of the goblin units shatters, and it draws away some nasty skulkers too. And then we get a surprising, and then his Night Goblin War Boss shattered, and then a lot of goblin units start running away, which was awesome. I bring in some fresh reinforcements. The Grumbling Guard are fresh, and they're keeping other units in the fight fresh because of their abilities, which is awesome. And then this keeps happening, and this keeps happening, and they just keep attacking my flank, and I'm like, go away! At this point, I'm hoping that these... where are they? I'm hoping that these guys who got shot at by the archers again are gonna come back. But of course, no such luck. Spoiler, they ran out. They run all the way. Thankfully, I have way too many dwarves for these nasty skulkers to do anything. And then he pulls back. He still has these archers. But at this point, I start chasing whatever units I can see. I engage these archers in close combat for some reason. It's pretty funny, them moving around and force forward. And then I start chasing. And yes, it is true. In case you haven't figured it out already, I'm actually gonna win something. Oh my god. It still was by accident, because I'm an idiot. But, hey, well, at least I got a victory, so go me. I won against goblins. Who would have thought? Now, what mistake... Did I make any mistake? Well, of course, I always make mistakes. And it's just that in this battle, they weren't game-losing. It wasn't a mistake. The army I picked wasn't a mistake. I mean, yeah, a lot of AP damage in this army against goblins, so that's not going to do me any good. But hey, I used what I had mostly. The Thunderers, they were very good against this particular instance for character sniping. I just didn't cover them very well, and he shot them to pieces with all his archers. My biggest mistake is Thorgrim. If Thorgrim had lived through that initial engagement, then it wouldn't have been a Pyrrhic victory in my mind. It would have been a very easy one. But my stupid mistake was not noticing my leader dying. But my tactical mistake was not covering him with these quarrelers. These quarrelers, when the infantry started when the engagement started, they were shooting at the units in my flank, and my flank wasn't. These guys were far more dangerous than the archers to my flanks, let me put it that way, because obviously they killed Thorgrim and the Thunderers. At the end of the day, I ended up pretty cool. Slayer just chopped up so many heads. In the end, of course, they died, so I guess they succeeded in their life's purpose. Grumbling Guard just slaughtered a lot of goblins. So did the Quarrelers, but that's to be expected. All of my infantry did okay-ish. His nasty skulkers, man. Holy shit. I mean, looking at the upgrades they had, I am surprised my infantry didn't get smashed, but that's what happens when you have buffs from all of these folks. If in my opinion, if I had brought anything that was stationary, grudge thrower, cannon, etc., if I had gone skirmisher heavy, all that stuff, I would have been swamped. If I would have not gone infantry heavy, I would have been swamped, because that's way too many goblins. And honestly, looking back at the fight, he could have attacked me from 3 different directions, not 2. Of course, that would have meant that his flank attacks would have been weaker, but more directions mean I have to spend more resources to watch each flank, so I won! Holy shit! Who would have thought, huh? So, next faction, what I'm gonna play is unknown. I have no idea. It could be anything. It could be Empire, it could be Bretonnia, although I don't think it's gonna be Bretonnia, because Bretonia's strength lies in its shock cavalry, and I am very shit with my micro, which means my shock cavalry is gonna get stuck in combat and they're gonna die. So, Empire? I don't know. Vampires? I don't know. We'll see. So, see you on the next one.